Welcome to Unbuzzed at Bedtime with Michelle,
And Wendy.
where we get the kids' bedtime snack, kick them to the curb, and have our evening discussion while they're getting settled for bed. So today is day 141 days of sobriety for me. How many days of sobriety for you?
Since I was born.
That's a lot of days.
It is a lot of days. Wow.
Love you. It's always fascinating to me how people end up together.
Yeah.
You have been sober your entire life by choice. I have been sober for 141 days by choice. So curious, how was that growing up? Like, did you just not face any peer pressure?
I mean, if I did, I don't remember it being overly negative or in my face. I think I just had a pretty strong stance that I wasn't going to be using any substances or drinking or partaking in anything like that. And I guess maybe just no one messed with me. It wasn't like I was scary or anything like that. That's ridiculous. It just was like, she's not going to change her mind. So whatever,
Do you think that it helped that you grew up in a really small town?
Probably not. I think that the small town potentially could have made that worse. Maybe I was just completely oblivious. I'm not really sure. Our dog is also getting ready for bedtime with a paw licking fest. She's going to be uninvited to Unbuzzed at bedtime.
She's going to get 86.
Hey.
She's embarrassed.
She has allergies. She's done. I'm sure the peer pressure was there. I'm sure there's people in my town that felt it. I just didn't care.
To be so confident in who you are as a human being so young, I think is admirable. Especially looking back on my early teen and teenage years. I was very impressionable, wanted to be liked. It's very awkward in social settings. I feel like I'm still awkward in social settings. And fell into not the greatest crowd. And I think that was probably for several reasons. Number one, they were willing to be doing things we weren't supposed to be doing. And then trying alcohol for the first time. I didn't have to be me anymore. They some people will refer to alcohol as the social lubricant, if you will, because it just loosens you up and you're not concerned about what other people are thinking of you anymore. And I definitely used it like that. But I didn't have an off switch. And looking back now, I think that was a huge difference between me and many of the other teens that I partied with. There were some people that could have 2, 3 beers, whatever, and be done, or be done when they felt buzzed. I could not. I started and I could not stop. There were countless blackouts, countless times like being sick in strangers' bathrooms, like disgusting. And the insanity of alcoholism and addiction is really interesting because you can be so miserable one night, one morning, whatever, and you just do it all over again. You don't care. You forget how miserable you were, and you just keep going. Like it's not going to happen again.
Do you know how old you were when you took your first drink?
I think I was 14, 15. The first time I was like buzzed was a high school dance, and I was sexually assaulted that night. I ended up getting an MIP, and I had to do like in-school suspension truancy. And I agreed to that because I was using alcohol. I was under the influence of alcohol on school grounds. But I was told that I wouldn't get an MIP because I was assaulted that night. Ended up getting an MIP anyway, which got a lawyer and fought that, and I didn't end up like having anything that was on my record, but that was traumatic. I was 15. And that was my first experience.
Right, that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah. That was my first experience drinking alcohol, but and you would think to experience losing control so much and like losing control of how people treated me in that moment. And the fallout from that, like the fallout in high school as a sophomore, like rumors spread very quickly. It was not kind. It was not kind at all. The guy that I thought I kind of knew a little bit, he was popular. He was a jock. And there were no repercussions for him. There were none. And going through that and living through that horrible experience and like not necessarily being believed about what had happened because I was drunk, right? You would think that that would be a wake-up call and be like, oh, that's not a good idea. But I think it just like catapulted me into addiction and addictive behaviors even further, to be honest.
For sure. As a way of coping.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've thought about that scenario in that light before. So that's interesting. Just to feel so out of control. And that's the insanity of addiction.
Absolutely.
Like you can feel so out of control and yet still go back to the same substance many, many times before you can get out of it.
I feel like I remember a little bit about my peers describing that out of control feeling when buzzed. And I remember my claim to fame was always like, I make bad enough decisions sober. Why would I ever add something to the mix? And, you know, I kind of got away with just kind of saying that, and it was my excuse and people left me alone. But probably true, you know? I just felt like I was just not in need of anything extra to be a dumb teenager, late teenager or early 20s and college years. But it was, I remember people describing that feeling, and I just was like, yeah, that's not for me.
It's interesting because I feel like I have some controlling tendencies and from anxiety, wanting to control my own circumstances, but at the same time, not wanting to be in control because that also stresses me out. So escapism, like using as a way to escape responsibility. But
For
yeah,
sure.
I definitely make bad enough decisions sober sometimes. So adding alcohol, there were definitely times where really bad decisions were made, and
Absolutely.
I wasn't conscious. You know, you're not fully conscious of the decisions that you're making and the repercussions of your actions when you're under the influence of anything.
Fair.
That's a big lesson. And I think that's something that I have tried to at least instill in our teenager, or at least have some exposure to that conversation. I don't know if we've gotten anywhere, but yeah, just you shouldn't be consenting to anything if you've been using anything. Don't get in a car with anybody that's been using anything. Don't drive. Don't just call us. We'll pick you up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I'm happy that she's spending her last couple of years with us on the East Coast. My experience has been a bit more vast than yours as far as living in different areas. So growing up in upstate New York, very, very small town, nothing to do. So couldn't even use that as the excuse, but just literally nothing to do. Nearest mall, which was popular at the time, was an hour away. Nearest movies, I think we had a bowling alley, so that was super cool. There's just nothing to do. You would think that would have led to a lot more partying than not. I just don't. I wasn't involved, so maybe it was happening behind the scenes. But then moving, to several different states, including one in the South and other on the East Coast and West Coast, and then landing in Montana. I remember that culture shock for me getting to Montana and just like listening to people talk and being super proud of like number of DUIs and how many DUIs it takes in Montana before you actually get in any type of trouble, or
I think it's like 7.
Just the culture was a shock to me because I just didn't feel like that was normal. And I'd said that to you quite a few times, and I'd said it to our teenager quite a few times. But both of you, being born and raised there, maybe thought I was a little nuts. But now we're back over here on the East Coast, and I think the experience is more like I thought it was going to be, where it's just not necessarily the common conversation you have with coworkers or friends or neighbors, and hopefully our teenager is not having that conversation in high school. But the experience growing up, I think, for the two of us was really different, both within our family units and outside, just like the town itself. So I just think that maybe it definitely doesn't help people who grow up in environments where it's normalized. Maybe stay away from it, I guess, is where I'm going with that.
What do you mean?
If it's just normal in everyday conversation that you maybe are around as a kid, as a teenager, is about alcohol, or the focus is always alcohol, or you're at a Halloween get-together and you hear adults talking about the DUI they got last weekend, and ha 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 ha, if they'd only caught me the other 12 times I did it last month. If it's just so normal, I think you're way more likely to try it out than I don't remember people talking about that at all when I was growing up, adults, especially like around kids. Just would have been one of those conversations maybe that was private between adults. It just wasn't shared and no one was proud.
I don't know if people are proud of their DUIs necessarily, but I think they get talked about a lot. Growing up in Montana, I don't know what it is. I don't know. There's nothing to do. There's more cows than people. But drinking is like a huge part of the culture. Every event is focused around the beer garden. There's breweries everywhere. There's casinos everywhere. Bars everywhere. Liquor stores everywhere. You can buy whatever you want at the gas station. Like, it's in your face all the time. And not only alcohol, but also tobacco. I think tobacco is really big in Montana. With vapes and Zyn pouches, whatever, I think maybe cigarettes and chew are going down a little bit. I don't know. I don't know the statistics, but there are a lot of men and women that chew in Montana. There are a lot of men and women that smoke cigarettes, vape, what have you. A lot of nicotine users and a lot of alcohol users. That's not even getting into the illicit substances that are very prevalent in Montana, like methamphetamine for sure. And I know some other pockets of, like, there was a heroin epidemic. It's just bad. It's a very vast state. There's not a lot of infrastructure with enough police officers per capita, really, to keep up with anything. So, yeah, I think just the town that we were living in, right? Town of 150,000 people, and there's only 9 police officers on duty at any given time. 9. So your chances of getting away with driving under the influence are pretty decent, really. And that's why people, I think, they know that and they take the chance because it's so normalized to go out for a few drinks and get back behind the wheel.
Also, less access to public transportation.
Oh, there isn't any.
Uber or
it's astronomical.
Whatever, you know, ride share stuff. You can't take those an hour and a half away back to your house. Also, and then I know people always, you know, how am I going to get my car the next day and just whatever it is. And so with the space being that it is in Montana, it's also hard to get back home appropriately. So that, you know, there's a lot of pre-planning, I guess, that people probably don't take the time to do.
And then you're under the influence. You're not making good decisions. And then it's normalized. It's absolutely normalized that people tend to have a few drinks and get behind the wheel. They may say they're not buzzed, or they're only buzzed, they're not drunk, or they've only had 2, what have you. But I don't know that anybody really takes the time when they're under the influence to think about the repercussions of their actions if anybody was to get hurt, themselves or others.
Life-changing for everybody. And
absolutely. Yeah. But the culture, definitely a lot different than what I've experienced here in Pennsylvania over the last year and a half and some change.
Do I get like an I told you so? Like
here's the thing.
I would like our teen to say it the most, but it's never going to happen.
Maybe one day.
Like in 6 years.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
When she's had some more life experience and time to reflect. But when we were first together, I think we had, I wouldn't say arguments, discussions. Sometimes a little heated from my side. But you telling me normal people don't drink every night. I was like, you've lost your mind. Yes, they do. Number one. Number two, get off my back. I'm not wasted. I get up, I go to work. I can parent, I can function. Leave me alone. Like, let me have my drinks. Mind you, at that time, I was drinking seltzers. So nothing crazy in the realm of alcohol use. Nothing crazy. But I had moderated my use for you. Because you had a problem with how much I was drinking. I didn't want to be told that I could only have a certain number because I was having 4 or 5 a night. And you're like, that's a lot. I was like, it absolutely is not a lot. I will show you a lot if you would like me to. I don't remember what it was that I was like, fine, I'll make you happy and I'll just have 2 a night. That was torture. I don't know if I've ever said that, but like just being able to have 2 was very constricting. I didn't like it. I think at one point I actually purchased the higher alcohol content
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
seltzers because I was like, oh, 2. If I have 2 of these, it's actually like 4 of the others. So
She won't know.
you didn't know for a while. And then you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
These have more alcohol in them. It wasn't like double the amount of alcohol. It was a little bit more. But still, I was trying to cheat the system because I wanted more than you thought was appropriate.
Well, that's not true. I thought 0 was appropriate.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
In my opinion, I guess if I had to label like what I would have thought was appropriate would be like a Saturday night and we were gonna have a game night and you had like 1. That's kind of my limit of what I felt was appropriate. So
and I think that's laughable. Like,
and so the 2 every night
was a
after,
lot.
after hours, after responsibility, I understood that it was all appropriate in that way. There was no driving, kids are in bed. I'm sober. So we always knew like if a kid needed a random emergency room visit or something, there was always one of us. So it was all appropriate in that way. But my saying, let's cut it down to 2 wasn't really what I wanted. That was my
compromise.
Like marriage compromise. Yeah.
It's so wild to think about because I look back and I'm like, oh, 1 on an occasional Saturday, there's absolutely no freaking way. No way that I'd be able to do that. And that should have been a wake-up call.
Right.
Really, how much it angered me to be told I was drinking too much. That I was told I should cut back. That it angered me to cut back. And that it felt impossible. Really, it did feel impossible, and it felt even more impossible to like stop completely. Those all should have been very big red flags. Like, oh, maybe you do have a problem here. At that point, I wasn't ready to like look in the mirror and be like, this isn't okay. Because it just made me mad. I want to do what I want to do. I'm a grown adult. I'm not hurting anybody. Yeah.
I think I remember the turning point in going from like the 4 or 5 to 2. I think I had a pretty passionate conversation with you about how much our teenager was commenting.
Oh, yes.
On just like seeing seltzers out on a 18-wheeler or,
Oh, Mom, do you want that?
Yeah, or,
Oh,
just kind of like she really just became sort of extra focused on it. And I remember going, let's not do this to her. And I think you really took that to heart. And I think that's why you were willing to cut back, even though it sounds like you didn't really want to. But I think you understood where I was coming from with that, because just like our high school years, as far as our substance use was different, I think our upbringings were different also.
Vastly.
And so I knew that it's probably better to not be exposing this to our kids as normal, and just give them the opportunity to, decide for themselves later in life what their normal is going to be, but not because they saw it from us growing up. And so that's what I was super passionate about.
I couldn't see outside of what my normalized upbringing was at that point. I don't even think I could see outside of that until we moved to Pennsylvania and I stopped drinking completely, which I guess initially stopped drinking completely, right? Like, because that was a while ago, but I don't know that I realized how much that impacted my view of alcohol. Like, it was normal. It was normal at every dinner, every family function. I don't have any relatives that are sober. Like, everybody was drinking at every family function, and they're pretty good drinkers. Like, nobody was saying you should only have two or you should only have one. Nobody, at least not that I remember. Maybe they were, but that's not what I was like honed in on for sure. It was, what are we drinking? How much are we drinking? How fast can we drink it? How early can we start? How late can we go? If it's a family function, there's no last call.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I think when I first started to cut back, I think right before that, our younger kids were starting to comment on things.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we called the seltzers Nunyas. What's that called? Nunya. Nunya business. Because I didn't want them to know the name of what I was consuming, just that they weren't allowed to have it. Which, I don't know, shielding them from alcohol altogether, is that the best option? I don't know. I just know that I don't want them to think of me and think of me with a drink.
Yeah, fair. They don't comment on anything anymore. When we see, if we're watching football and we see a commercial, they don't ever say anything anymore. They haven't for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a win. I think it's just not something that they notice anymore.
Man, I notice it. It is in your face, absolutely everywhere.
We're gonna do a podcast on that. We're gonna, I think, do like a 24-hour block of time and make sure we have like a little mini notebook with us.
We need a ticker.
Oh yeah, we need that for a lot of things in this family. How many times do they say "mom" in a 2-hour period? I think it would probably break, but she did not like that.
She didn't like that.
Anyway, we'll do that. Just a 24-hour period where maybe we're going to be apart, I think would be best. So maybe your upcoming like work stuff. And then we'll just like keep track and jot a little note of what it was, semi or billboard or TV commercial.
Oh my God.
Comment at work, whatever. We're going to do that. And then we'll just sit here for 30 minutes and go through our list. I mean, it's just in your face.
Longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah. Totally in your face. I don't remember that growing up, but maybe because I didn't care about it.
I mean, I remember like TV commercials, but I think now we're bombarded on like so many different levels.
Fair.
Social media, um, TV. I feel like we watch a lot of things that don't necessarily have ads or we're able to fast forward. Love that. But you think about the Super Bowl commercials, right? And then when we go places, like we go to the amusement park, and there's signs and ads for the alcoholic drinks that they're selling at the family amusement park. Can't even go there without that. It's probably not as in your face as it could be, but it's still there. Airports, planes, like it's absolutely everywhere, and I don't think you realize it until you are trying to avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we never used to comment on it. And now when I'm driving, I see one and I always like, oh, yep, there's another one. Even when you're not in the car.
Yeah. It's like subliminal messaging, right? And how does that affect our kids? I was curious, so I looked it up. There was a study done in like 2012 of, I think the sample size was like 55,000 Americans. And how many ads, alcohol-related ads, are you exposed? No, are you exposed to in a year?
Oh, okay.
In a year, in 2012, that subset of Americans said like 1 to 2 per day. So it was like 560 or something like that per year. It's like I probably see that in a day.
Oh, I definitely see way more than 1 or 2. Without a doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can count, like, just off the top of my head, that I've noticed probably 10 different ones from here to work.
Yeah.
On a 25-minute drive.
We'll have to start tasking people to start doing a 24-hour period and to jot down how many exposures.
And where they are. Grocery store, gas station, even at the gas pump, right? Like they have those little
that
ad
running
things.
TV. It scares the crap out of me every time I am trying to zone out. They're so loud.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't. Oh yeah. I don't go to the
gas
pump.
You don't go to the gas station. Yeah. That's another day. Yeah, they're alarmingly loud. But so again. Well, and ads on TV, those are louder than the regular ads. So just like thinking about our poor little impressionable humans that we are raising, when it's way louder, it's going to gain their attention. Yeah.
Yep, that's why they do that. And social media, I think there was another little blurb in the thing that I was looking up that 90% of people said they were exposed in the last 30 days to something alcohol related on social media, which is duh.
The 10% must have just been sleeping while they were looking.
They didn't use social media in the last 30 days. Yeah. It's crazy how, and not just alcohol.
No.
Not just alcohol.
Of course not.
Alcohol, tobacco. Kratom is that's a hot one right now, and there's a lot of people having a lot of trouble with kratom. It's really hard to come off of. That's a synthetic opiate that it's not regulated. You can buy it at any gas station, vape shop, what have you. And there are a lot of people that think they're buying like organic. I shouldn't say synthetic opiate. I'm pretty sure it's an herb. Don't quote me. But it acts like a synthetic opiate. So there are people that are going on like Suboxone to come off of it.
How disappointed in me would you be if I told you I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about?
The point is, kratom is an over-the-counter supplement. It's marketed as a supplement, as a health food supplement. It's supposed to make you feel good, feel calm.
Oh.
and people are getting addicted to it, and it's over the counter. I think some states you have to be 21 to buy it, but I didn't even know it existed.
Same.
I didn't know it. I'm glad I didn't know it existed, because I probably would have tried it, and then I would have been in a whole other world of hurt. But I met a few people in rehab that were coming off of kratom, and it was really, really intense. And just to think of some people that like didn't know that that was a possibility.
Right.
That's scary that it's not.
And I think that's where our kids and teens are. They have absolutely no idea how scary it is to do things just one time, especially kids who are genetically
predispositioned.
Right. I was going to say the wrong word and I stopped myself. But then, like, as their parents, how do we say to them, you got a rough genetic makeup, so don't start.
Don't do it.
Not once.
I know. I feel like the tacky meth ads that ran in Montana when I was a teen, like, meth and not even once. But seriously.
Or the different pictures. I remember those ones. I don't know when that ran. I was probably not a teen.
You're like late 20s.
At that point, I still hadn't even tried a drink, though.
Oh, yeah. You were in your 30s, weren't you?
31.
Oh, my God.
31 years old when I had my first sip of alcohol.
And you've never
been buzzed. I have not been buzzed.
Just tried a drink.
I'm not even sure I've held a cigarette. And I sure the hell don't know how to use a lighter, which you've seen that in, like, fire making. Just not a skill that I ever got. But, yeah, I've never held a cigarette. I've never tried a gummy of it. Nothing. I've tried nothing except for, I believe, a few sips of a couple different types of alcohol one night with my football team. And really, for me, it was just to see if I liked the taste of it, which I thought everything that I had tried that night was just, like, disgusting in taste. And it kind of sat everybody down. I was like, I need someone to explain to me why you consume something you don't like the taste of. Like, I am not going to sit here with a jug of prune juice. It's just not going to happen. Doesn't taste good to me. Like, I just couldn't ever really understand it. So I just had no interest. And then, maybe at one point I would consume like a half of some very, very light beer, just like in those like football years, or maybe on a golf trip or two, like just where it was like really kind of socially what people were doing, but never to the point. I mean, I would milk a half beer for 4.5 hours. So
it would be like boiling hot.
Yeah,
because you've been holding it
gross.
so long.
Didn't help the taste. So then I just was like, I don't drink soda flavors I don't like. I'm just not gonna do it. I have no interest. And that's where it ended. And at this point now, 14 years later, hopefully no one can do math tonight, but I wish I hadn't, because I would rather have like
I've never tried it.
The patch on my sleeve, where up until 31 I was able to say I've never tried anything. But I did. I don't terribly regret it. It just would be more cool for me to be totally straight edge at 45. And for people to like, I think that there's always a judgment of like, oh, I must have just had this like perfect life if I wasn't exposed to it and it wasn't around me and I was like able to avoid it. Like, no, not so much. Having a father who overdosed. Although that wasn't part of my upbringing, I was completely unaware of whatever was happening. And he overdosed I was an adult, but overdosed nonetheless. So clearly there was likely some type of exposure at some point to different stuff.
And how old were you?
When he overdosed, I think 31. I think it was that year. Yeah.
Before or after you tried?
I'm not sure. I, I think it was after.
Interesting.
Yeah. But maybe by a month. Yeah. Because I know what season of my football time it was, and I believe just really close timing. I don't know. Maybe I knew something was coming, but I never got buzzed, so it wasn't like I was trying to drown anything or, whatever excuse there might be for that. It was just...
Maybe subconsciously.
Maybe. Who
Glad
knows?
it didn't like grab hold of you.
No. Yeah.
Talk about genetic predisposition, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think watching a loved one, you say you weren't really exposed to what was going on, but I think you knew a little bit of what was going on.
Yeah.
I think being exposed and watching that either as an adult or younger definitely can mold you in one of two ways, right? You either completely avoid it or you follow the path.
Definitely.
So,
yeah. I think I'm stubborn enough to be...
yeah, you got that going for you.
Yeah.
Stubborn and confident. Great.
Yeah.
Great combo.
Hey, it worked.
It did work. I'm glad for you. I was anxious and awkward and not confident. And that definitely was a driving force in some of the things that I agreed to try. That I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to not have to worry about being myself. And then I didn't have to worry about people liking the real me if I wasn't the real me.
I think a lot of my confidence came from sports.
Yeah.
I also had sort of a life-changing coach my freshman year of high school that, I wish everybody had, be it a coach or a teacher or somebody, some adult in their life to go, hey, yeah, you're not really as badass as you think you are. So now you're going to swim a lot of extra laps because your mouth never stops, and you're not as cool as you think you are, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to push you and you're going to do great things, but you're going to do it my way. And I had a lot of respect for that. And I think it really grabbed me and, that was freshman year. So that pushed me into kind of what I was going to be for high school. And that was super focused in sports. So that helped. I know some kids can use that outlet, but other kids don't have that outlet.
I didn't
or
have
that adult.
And I didn't have that.
Which is why I think with part of our business stuff as we get going, I don't really want to hang out with a lot of teenagers. On the regular.
Yeah.
Ours is enough. But maybe trying to do events that are teen specific, and maybe we get to be that adult for even one of them. Hopefully ours for sure, but maybe another one where we can just be influential enough to give them the confidence to not be peer pressured into stuff they don't want to do.
Exactly. Showing them that you can have fun, you can be yourself, you don't have to try to be anything different. It sounds super cheesy, and I think that's probably...
maybe they'll just see how cool we are.
How cool we are. That's going to get them.
And they'll go, okay. Yeah, I want to be...
I want to be like them. No. Just be yourself. It sounds so cheesy, but if people don't like you for who you are, then it's not worth it to be around them. And I wish that was an easier concept for me to grasp as a young person. But I just felt so on the outside, even from very, very, very young age. The social interactions were really difficult for me. And I think some people may not agree, like, or not, maybe not agree. That's probably not the right word. Be surprised.
They might agree.
Stop. I always got in trouble for talking too much in class. That was every single grade school, report card. Talks too much in class. Social butterfly. I was nervous. And I wouldn't shut up. That was the problem. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Does it remind you of someone?
Someone.
Maybe two. Maybe two. Yep. Those genes are strong, aren't
Right.
they? You get anxious and it's just like word vomit. Blah, blah, blah. But then I would be nervous. Like, I do it now still with you. There's certain social interactions that I come home. I'm like, this is what happened. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Am I reading too much into it? And I kind of spiral over it.
We always joke that you should wear like the earbud and I should be on the other side giving you guidance. And stop talking now.
Why didn't you say this? I don't know. I said something really awkward. I couldn't think of anything that fast.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
But I definitely think that feeling, that awkward feeling, drove a lot of my addictive behaviors and a lot of my alcohol use. It really did.
I also think you didn't know yourself.
I don't know if I still...
Well, I'm working on it.
Yeah,
you are. But just like knowing what it's like to sit in your own feelings. I know that was one of the things you said coming out of treatment that just... that's like part of it. You just like weren't ready for what that was going to feel like for the first time since 14 or 15.
13?
Yeah, right.
13
like,
when I started using things. Yeah, I mean, talk about shutting off a part of your brain for as long as you've been using substances, or for me also food, exercise, like anything that you could be addicted to. I can't do anything in moderation. I just can't. I don't have an off switch. But yeah, going to treatment, going through detox, let me back up. The driving force to go to treatment wasn't that my life was falling apart. In fact, I think we had many, many conversations that I don't need treatment. I have a good job. I go to work. I get my work done. I can function. I don't need to go to rehab. My life is not on fire. I like my life. But I was struggling so much with suicidal ideation every day, a lot of the day, that it was just completely unmanageable and unsustainable. And it was really scary. And it was a really like isolating, depressing place to be, because I didn't know why I felt like that. Because my life wasn't on fire. Because I've definitely been in much lower places in life where I didn't necessarily feel that strongly and have that much SI as frequently. And it was kind of really a joint decision, like, we need to figure this out before something really bad happens.
Yep.
And that was a tough thing to accept and admit and say, okay, I'll go. And then going through detox and really sitting there finally by myself alone with only my thoughts in my own head and only my own feelings, was that I had shut off. I had completely shut off access to my own emotions for
20 plus years.
20 plus years. Didn't really ever allow myself to really feel anything. I think we had discussed that I would have like glimmers of happiness and joy, but they didn't stay. It didn't stick. And then I'd be right back into feeling like I wanted to die and not really having any answer as to why that was.
Right.
I didn't understand. And I thought I could just get back on antidepressants and that's all I would need. I would go to counseling and get on antidepressants and we'd be golden. You're like, absolutely not. You need treatment. But it was definitely a reality check, getting emotions flooding back and even subconsciously immediately shutting them off. Like it'd start to come up and I'd be like, oh, absolutely not. That's really uncomfortable. I am not willing to do that right now. And I had to have several people there during treatment tell me the emotion isn't going to kill you. Like, it's okay to feel it. It's not permanent. It's going to pass. And it's not going to kill you. What you were doing was going to kill you. But the emotion isn't going to kill you. You need to just, like, let it out. And then I think I cried for at least 48 hours straight in spurts, I guess. But it was a lot. And then I was like, is this baseline? Because that's scary too. I can't do that. But yeah. That was kind of a tangent. Sorry. See? Awkward. I can't not be awkward.
We need like a little button or something under here.
Stop talking.
The anxiety is raising and you're talking.
Stop. See? It's just like a part of me though.
It's fine. I love that part of you.
Do we? Most of the time?
Except
Okay.
when I'm trying to sleep.
That's not even an issue anymore. I sleep so good now. That's another thing. Sobriety, wonderful sleep. Did not sleep good before.
We're going to save that one for another night.
Yeah. It's about time to put our own kids in bed.
Okay. Is it? Oh.
Is it? Oh,
Yes.
Might be past. Well, thanks for joining us. And if you're joining us on a sobriety or recovery journey of your own, congratulations. You made it to another Bedtime Unbuzzed. Come see us next time.
Bye.